This is a University of Lethbridge Department of Mathematics and Computer Science video for Computer Science 2610 by Nicole Wilson. In this video it's the third of 4 about the Magic Box kit. I'll be showing you how to use chips and how to use the chip puller to get the chips back out. So this is a breadboard, and when we have our setup like we did in the last video, when we want to add a chip, we add it across this trench. We make sure it's oriented properly so that that half circle you may not be able to see in this video is on this side. We want our board oriented so the writing's the right side up this way, and we move it over swiveling this way. And then we find a spot where we want to put it. If you can't put all the pins into spots on the board, that could mean something's wrong with where the pins are on the chip. So the pins may be folded in too far, they may be splayed out too far, they may be missing or bent one way or the other or this way back. So do examine them before you put them in the board every time, or you're very likely to wreck a chip. So once we have it oriented properly and we know where it goes, we get all the feet in the right place, and then you push down firmly. You'll be able to hear when it snaps into the breadboard. Okay, before we can use a chip, we need to power and ground it. So when we are setting up in our standard setup, and I've showed this in the previous video, we put the ground at the bottom and the power at the top. We do it this way because in our kits, all of our chips are powered on the top and grounded on the bottom. So in all the chips in our kit, please note I said in our kit, not all chips. The top left pin is the power. So we attach that to where we've hooked up the power. And we usually use these short little wires for it. And then we ground it at the bottom. The ground is the bottom right. And then regardless of what kind of chip it is, everything else is a series of inputs and outputs, and that depends on the particular chip. This is a 0-4, which is a hex inverter, so it has 6 inverters on it. That means there's an in and an out for each of those, but the only way you really know is to check the schematic. Okay, after we're done using our chips, we pull all the wires out of the breadboard every time, because remember, you are sharing this kit with another student, at least one other student, possibly 2. Now, it's very important that we don't destroy chips as we pull them out of the board. You've only got one chip set, and while if they break, we can replace them, we don't want to be doing that constantly. So never pry the chips out with your fingers. Every kit has one of these yellow tools. It's just like a pair of tongs, except we've got a little bent end. So when we pull the chip up, we want to do it straight up. We get this little ledge under both sides of the chip. When you get it under there, again, you'll hear a distinct sound letting you know you've pulled it out properly. So we center over it on both sides, and then try to do it together. Pop them in and pull straight out. Before you put your chip away, examine it again to make sure none of the pins are bent. And that is how we use the chips in the chip puller.